let me know when you're rolling, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool, awesome. My name is Boyce, and I'll be talking a little bit more about Gcoop and the compensation plan that revolves around this company. Just a little bit more about me. I actually started Gcoop probably about 6 to 8 months ago. Really fell in love with the products over time, and I definitely have to say that I've had a big leg up because of my mother, who's introduced me to the company. I probably have used 100 of other products that, like, within my lifetime that, I didn't really think about it, but ultimately those products that I've been using in the past actually were, harming me in terms of my health and in terms of my daily productivity. Like, there's always that 25% of energy that I was lacking, in my day-to-day life. And so Gcoop having these products with like no actual toxins that I feel aren't penetrating my body anymore, it feels great to actually be able to have that extra 25% to give my 100% in life in terms of utilizing these products and actually feeling that difference. So what I'd like to obviously go over is that compensation plan and how you can make money through Gcoop. With such amazing company values as well as great products, the compensation plan is also really comprehensive. So big thing with Gcoop is that they want to make a promise. We want to observe that we get a 35% cash payout in terms of what is maximized in the law, and that's within the United States, South Korea, and Taiwan in the current open markets that they have at the moment. And also what's really nice about Gcoop is that they want us to be heard, and our feedback is actually validated. So we can actually steer, let's say, product development in terms of what new products could come out in the potential future. And so we have an operation committee and a product committee. So product committee is one that actually comes up with newer ideas for products and actually collaborates with shareholders of Gcoop to produce newer products that could potentially be pretty advantageous, which doesn't come at a cost to us being Gcoopers. And then another thing is the operations committee, making sure that we have a really good operations structure to ensure that we get paid out on time. And honestly, getting paid out weekly is a really good benefit, right? You don't have to wait for your employer to go ahead and pay you bi-weekly, which sometimes is tedious, or even a salary pay. It's all dependent on you as an individual, as well as the people that you put on your team. And then the final thing is that we, as Gcoop, it wants to make sure that we align with our values, and also that none of the profit that is made by Gcoop, 90% of that is actually reinvested in the company in terms of development, in terms of distribution structure, and also making sure that all the stakeholders and shareholders are benefited to the utmost amount. And that extra 10% is for shareholders to, feed their families, obviously. So, objectives of our Global One server, which Gcoop is trying to do, is globalizing the business. So being able to actually have our business expand to multiple different countries and not have the issue of, having it only centered in one country at a time. What's nice about that is it means that you can actually go over to South Korea, Taiwan, or the United States and actually have your business in either one of those countries and have people that would be able to work with you within Gcoop, which is really nice. Purpose number 2 is that we run an integrated system. So being able to have that system where we have that interlinking of having a global server, that's a really important thing, that we're actually moving as a team rather than an individual. And then purpose 3 is making sure that our company philosophies are aligned with what we as Gcoop want to portray out to the public, right? So we get to actually have the ability to know that we're doing good and that we actually have products that are high value, that are at a very distinct cost that would be a lot more astronomically expensive in comparison to other competitors. So here are some definitions and terms that we'll kind of go over a little bit. So BV is an incremental value of $1 to 1 BV. Consumer member is whoever can purchase a product, so that's anyone who's on the streets that wanted to purchase, let's say, a Gcoop item. And then we have a member who actually is a part of the system of Gcoop, who has actually bought a product. At that point, you are then a member. Recommender is a member who recommends self. And then sponsor is a member who basically has introduced you to Gcoop. So they are your sponsor at that time. And so these are a little bit more about the membership classifications, right? So we have beginner right here. That's anyone that you see. That's basically whoever doesn't really know about Gcoop. That's what a beginner would be. So you're introducing them to Gcoop, like, oh my gosh, like I tried this new skincare product. Let me share that with you, right? And then let's say, for example, they decided to buy the magic peeling gel, right? They then become a member right away. And seeing how well that product panned out, they have to basically pay anything below 50 BV, which is super easy. And a lot of our products are really inexpensive to become a member. And what's really nice about becoming a member is that you actually get 30% off on valid products that Gcoop does sell within the markets right now. GBO, so that is a Gcoop business owner. So essentially when you get to this point, you've spent about 50 BV or above, and this allows you to actually have a couple of more benefits, which we'll talk about in the further slides. But I definitely recommend reaching this point because it's only $100 essentially that you actually get to pay in order to actually become a GBO. And that basically makes you, gives you the ability to make more revenue sources within the company of Gcoop. 1 star is 500 BV and above, and then 2 star is 1000 BV or above. And so these actually open up a little bit more in terms of compensation, which we'll get further into in the next couple slides. So there are about 5 different payout options that Gcoop offers to every Gcooper. And the first one is our sales bonus, right? So you get the consumer price subtracted by the member price. So right when I told you when you become a member, you actually get a 30% discount on all the products. So if you were to sell that actual product, you could subtract the member pricing, which would be that 30% margin of profit, which would then give you that sales bonus, which is just the first way to make money. This is the very conventional way that I feel like a lot of companies use whenever they are doing sales. And so this is really nice that the company Gcoop actually provides that for us, where we don't actually have to go and find competitive prices to then sell those products. And it's nice to have a good one manufacturing system that Gcoop is solidified in. So then we have our sponsor bonus. So what's really nice about this is that you, if you're sponsoring somebody that has purchased a 1 star amount of money in terms of, let's say, products, you actually get a 5% sales bonus from that. And so if someone were to purchase 500 BV of product, you would get 25 US dollars. 2 star, 1000 BV, so if someone were to purchase that amount, that is somebody that you have introduced to the company, you would then make $50 out of their 1000 BV purchase. And then repurchases are really cool, is basically anything above or at $100 per month, you make a $2.50 amount, and that's per person. So that doesn't mean just it doesn't mean like just one group of people, it's every individual person that decides to purchase, let's say, newer products again, like they have to re-up on their shampoo, their skincare products. They then, if they ever do that repurchasing, you gain a little bit back every time that they purchase something. And this is going to be changing. The reward rate after 2019 and 2020, it'll actually change to about 20%. So that means all these values quadruple, which is really amazing. So instead of having a 1 star at 500 BV for only $25 that you actually receive, you actually will receive about $100 for every 1 star package that is sold. And then 2 star, right, you would then have $200. And then so on with the repurchase, then that would be $10 per repurchasing, which is phenomenal. So the more people that you introduce, this sponsor bonus will actually become a huge way to make a big revenue within Gcoop. And then we have the team bonus. This is also, I feel like these are the 2 powerhouses when it comes to making money in this company. The big thing with the team bonus is that it's not just you working, it's actually your team. So we have side A and side B, right? So let's say, for example, you have about 10 people, right? And you have 5 of those people on your left-hand side, and on your right-hand side you have another 5. And then those people introduce 2 people, right? So what's cool about this is that whole team on your left-hand side, they made about 3,000 BV worth of sales, and then your right-hand side made about 2,000 BV worth of sales. What's cool is that you actually make a 12% weekly achievement for the lower half of your team's BV sales. So if you have 2,000 BV sold on your lower half, on your right-hand side, you make 12% of that, which is 240 US dollars, which is really cool, right? So you actually make that benefited amount. And now you're asking, okay, what happens with this 3,000 BV? Why is this one bigger, and why don't we get to benefit on the bigger leg, right? What's cool is that BV transfers over onto the next week. So this is a weekly revenue stream. And so on the week 2, your left-hand side, let's say they didn't feel it that week, they didn't sell as many products, or they didn't buy as many products as they used to. They then did about 2,800 BV worth of sales on that week. But then your right-hand side decided, okay, they wanted to re-up on their purchases. They wanted to then sell that to their friends and family. They decided to do about 3,300 BV in sales. And on that lower leg, that 1,000 BV gets transferred onto that lower leg on the left-hand side, and then goes over to 3,300 BV and takes 12% of that, which is really cool. So that means that you get to receive that achievement just for having your team doing work, which is really cool. And this helps you promote a bigger network that allows you to actually, support your team, and in a way, influence them to help build their groups as well. And so the matching bonus is our fourth way to make money, right? And so this one's really cool too, because we all have a different system on our right and left legs. Basically, we have a first generation, a second generation, and then a third generation. So first generation being someone that you recommended to the company, and then that person recommending somebody else would be that second generation from you as a sponsor, and then third generation would be that person recommending it to another person, right? And so from here, what you can see is that being a first recommender, you get actually, the sponsor actually receives 30% of any value purchase of about 100 BV or above. And so the sponsor actually receives 30% of that profit, which is really cool. And so this goes down to about 4 generations from 30, 15, 10%, and 5%. The thing is that you do have to be a 1-star or higher to even participate in this matching bonus. So it is a little bit more exclusive, but getting the 1-star is super simple. You honestly just buy the products over time, or you can purchase a 1-star package, which allows you to be at that level already, which is really awesome. And so it gives you the ability to make this extra stream of revenue, which can accumulate a lot of money over time. They are changing this from 2019 to 2020. They are going to be receiving a different percentage. So first recommendation is actually going to be at 15%. Second line is going to actually be at 10, and then third generation is going to be at 5%. The reason why they're changing that is because they wanted to make sure that the sponsor bonus that we earlier talked about had a bigger payout, because it helps out with a lot of people that maybe are just beginning in Gcoop to have more of a return in terms of their profitability. If you're in Gcoop long enough, the matching bonus does pay off, but it does take a bit of time to build that network. And then we finally have our promotional bonus. So this is our last way of making extra income, right? So there is a ranking system going from bronze all the way to royal crown. Essentially, being a bronze, that means that on your right and left leg, you actually accumulated about 1,000 BV on each side. So remember how I told you earlier when we were at the team bonus, where we had 5 people on your right and left. And that's only 10 people that you recommended. The whole generations of different people that they know, that they've recommended the company, those are people that you may not even come in contact with, but hopefully you are engaged as a leader to actually help them out with making wealth and helping them build their actual networks. And so what's cool is that you want to make sure that both your right and left are flourishing. So in order to do that, you have to make sure that you're basically having your right and left leg having enough income on each side, right? And if you reach those goals, which is 3,300 BV on right and left, you actually make $100 or $300 US, which is really cool. So with each individual ranking up, you actually make another promotional bonus. This isn't the main way I'd say of making revenue, but it is a kind of a nice little cherry on top when it comes to all these other bonuses that we receive just by being a part of this company. What's really cool too is as you get higher in the ranking, you actually have to make sure that on your right and left hand side, that those people on your right and left actually are succeeding as well. So they actually have to receive or be at a ranking of silver in order for you to become a ruby, which means that they have to be able to have the ability to have about 3,000 BV on each side of their own legs.
So the thing is that this is a limitless possibility in terms of how much and how big your network can get. And since this is a very, I'd say, in its infancy stages, there's honestly a lot of possibilities and potential in terms of how much money you can make within the U.S. and then the continuing opening markets that we'll see here soon. And then these are a couple of different platform bonuses that we don't have quite yet, just because the United States hasn't reached 100,000 members or more. That will then be the case in terms of being able to
Make this new bonus. But for now, we have not reached that. But soon we will, because we're at about 10,000 plus members currently. And I'd like